Hey, this is Tara Pritchett, confidence coach for women who need to get their shit together. And today I want to talk about why you're still single. And the reason why you're still single is because there are a number of feelings that you are holding on to and that you've been kind of feeding into because it is a story you keep telling yourself and about your love life and about men that is holding you back from moving forward in the way that you want to know how. You probably make up a story that kind of covers whatever you think is going on, but that ain't gonna work. So I want to go through a number of emotions really quickly and what they really mean when you are either in love, in a relationship, or why you're too afraid or scared to jump into one. So first, and I have my notes because I'm taking this directly from my ebook, Find Him, Keep Him, which you can find him on unleashyourfears.com/products. Okay. So the first emotion is neediness, right? So you are very, very needy when it comes to men and relationships. And neediness really is a cry for help in an area that is unresolved from your childhood. Okay, so if you're feeling needy, that is an area that is unresolved from your childhood. Okay, next up is obsession, which is you really avoiding something else in your life that you need to heal and handle. And that's when you become really obsessed with a guy because you're really attracted to him and you really like him. You're like, oh my God, he's my husband. Oh my God, I need to be with him. Then again, that is something that you need to heal and handle because you're avoiding something else in your life that you need to take care of and handle. Okay, so here's my next emotion is resentment, right? And resentment often comes from somebody really hurting you in the past, such as an ex-lover or ex-husband, or it could be your father or father figure who you harbor resentment against, so that prevents you from moving forward with new guys. So resentment really is a reactive response to not speaking up for yourself or standing up for yourself and your personal power. So perhaps somebody cheated on you in the past. Perhaps you are scared to move forward and let that person know or stand up and tell them. Or perhaps your father really has disappointed you, or he wasn't there, or he wasn't present like you wanted to, or he did some horrible things to you, but you resent him for that, right? Or you can even resent your mother for allowing him to be your father, whatever situation may be. And if you're holding on to that resentment, that could be another reason why you're single, because you haven't handled those feelings just yet. Okay, so next is insecurity, which is a huge negative emotion that a lot of women feel. And insecurity really is a refusal of self-love, self-acceptance, and self-worth. So that means that you haven't done the inner work that you need to do in order to prepare yourself to be more confident, more loving, more abundant, more prosperous, and more fierce as a woman. Okay, so next is confusion, which is not good in love at all. But confusion really is an avoidance of your intuition. It's also because you always know what's going on. Or you always kind of know what direction you should be going in. But sometimes you don't know how to really get still and get quiet and listen to your intuition about anything in your life, but especially about men and relationships. Or confusion is also your inability to communicate effectively. If you communicate and express yourself effectively, whether that's through journaling, that's through song, or that's speaking to a best friend, or that's speaking to a guy directly, that will help eliminate the confusion you feel in relationships or with men. Okay, so next up is doubt. And doubt really it's also an avoidance of your intuition, but doubt is also an avoidance of red flags. So even when you're in a relationship and a guy does some crazy shit, you avoid those things, right? Or secretly like, oh, I know he's messing with other women. I just saw this on Oprah's show the other day on Greenleaf, where she knew the man was in bed from texting. So she was like, you need to tell your side chick to stop texting you. Like, so he over here texting side chicks. Anyway, that's a whole different story. But that is really, you're avoiding the red flags. You're avoiding the your intuition. You really know what's going on. And even though she said it, she's still resenting him. She's still insecure. She's still confused and not really sure what's going on. That's a problem. Right? And on the show, they did end up in counseling, just so you know. So next is being emotionally unavailable. So a lot of women often tell me that they attract guys that are emotionally unavailable. But however, I always try to have them look into themselves. If you're attracting men that are emotionally unavailable, then that's something about you, something about your vibe that's attracting an emotionally unavailable man. And that really is you having a fear of opening up your heart to loving yet potentially hurtful experiences. So usually if someone's emotionally unavailable, especially if he's a guy, he probably has had an experience before where he has been hurt or afraid, or he could be carrying baggage from his childhood, which left him afraid to open up, right? Because you have to think about what's the relationship like with the women in his life, right? With his mom, with his grandma, with his aunts, look at that type of relationship in his particular life and seeing if there are any missing pieces that might be there, are things that have to be healed before he's able to open up to you, and you are on the same wavelength. What is on your side of the relationship that causes you to be emotionally unavailable and afraid? Is it a past experience that has kind of closed your heart a little bit, so you're afraid to open your heart? Because if you open your heart, then you're afraid you're going to get hurt. You cannot have a relationship, or a healthy relationship, or a long lasting relationship, if either person is not open and willing to be emotionally available. Okay, so let's see. What's next is being really, really nice for a man. Like, oh my God, I'm going to do everything for you. You're going to be my everything. And if you tell me to do something, I'm going to do it. Anyway, that's not me. That really is insecurity and fear of being alone, right? And also, you're afraid he's going to leave. If you're not nice, right? If you're not compliant with what he says or what he does, if you don't like that he likes sports and all of that, you're really afraid and scared that you're going to be alone. And you're never going to find a guy. Newsflash, that's not what a guy wants. He wants you to be yourself and do your thing. If you I don't like sports, I don't like sports. I know me personally, I'm not going to pretend that I do. I might watch basketball every now and then, but I'm not going to pretend that I like to go hiking when I really don't. Trust me, I don't. So guess what? That's going to be on you. Just so you know. And then lastly is fear. Fear. So fear really is an inability for you to surrender to divine flow. It's really also an inability for you to surrender to God and recognize that God wants the best for you and has the best for you, and that you are worthy and deserving of having, a sexy, successful man in your life. But oftentimes fear holds you back from getting that, right? And that's something you really need to take up from the spiritual side of yourself, because there's really only two emotions. There's fear and there's love, right? So you're either always going to be afraid or you're always going to be in this loving mode, right? So you have to choose, which side are you going to be on? Are you always going to live in this fear? Or are you going to start living in this love part? And if you're living in that divine love part, which is where God resides, because God is love, okay, then you're going to have to give up the fear, because fear and love cannot coincide in the same place. Just like fear and worry cannot coincide in the same place. So you're going to have to choose. Are you going to continue to stay in your own little bubble and handle it on your own? Or are you going to choose to go into that spiritual realm so that you can attract the love that you really, really deserve, right? And one that's not in my book, Find Him, Keep Him, but is pickiness. Right? You're really, really picky. Like, oh, I can't be with him because he got green toenails. He got this, he got that, he got one kid, he got that, he got this, right? So pickiness, right, is really, for one, an issue. But pickiness is really your inability to be open, right? To be open to something that's other than your type. And when we oftentimes have a type, that's usually when you getting tripped up. You have to learn how to open yourself up and experience and try something new. Because if you keep doing the same thing you've always done, you keep dating the same type of man over and over again because he is tall, dark, and handsome, and that's what you always like, then you're really going to miss out on the opportunity. Because what if the man that God has for you don't look nothing like him? What if he really shorter than you would have hoped so? He's lighter than you would have hoped so, right? His eyes are darker than you would have expected. His job is different than you had expected, but he is really great, phenomenal, and amazing, and really is there for you, right? You're going to completely miss that if you're not open to, God's best for you. So just keep that in mind. So again, those are a couple of the reasons why you are still single, or it could be why you're struggling in the relationship that you're in, because you're living with insecurity, you're dealing with doubt, you're dealing with being picky, you're emotionally unavailable. And until you heal those things that I just mentioned and you get help and support for those things, then you're going to continue to struggle and have issues with men, or you're going to attract men who bring those issues to the surface. So you're going to attract somebody who brings up insecurity. You're going to attract somebody who brings your doubts to the surface, brings all your fears to the surface, and then you'll be like, oh my God, I don't even like him like that no more because he's not making me happy, or this is not loving, or this is not what I expected. But that is the purpose of a relationship, is for you to evolve. It's for you to grow from a spiritual standpoint. Please keep that in mind, and make sure you join my webinar, Let Him Find a Good Thing, which is you, because you're going to get all your shit together so you can attract somebody good. 5 steps to claim your worth and get the love you deserve. Please join me Thursday, July 7th, 2016 at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Register at unleashyourfierce.com/love so you can come learn more from your girl. And I have a lot more to give you. Love you.